Hi, my name's Hutch Marone, your real estate agent in the Atlanta, Georgia market. And over the next 4 videos, we are briefly going to go over what happens after you get under contract on your new home or when your home is under contract. Because whether you're the buyer or the seller, we have the same major 4 periods of time, okay? And they are the inspection period, the appraisal period, the finance period, and the closing period. And the next major period of time usually is the appraisal contingency, okay? So keep in mind that the timer runs on all of these periods at the same time because the Georgia contracts are written that everything is from binding agreement date. So the day you go under contract, the binding agreement date here in Georgia is day 0. The next day is day 1. So if due diligence is 7 days, it starts the day after binding, right? Binding 0, day 1, the very next day. The appraisal contingency will be written the same way. 14, 15 days, right, for the appraisal to be completed, return to the lender, and if the appraised value is lower than the purchase price the buyer is offered, there can be some negotiation between the buyer and seller to arrive at the new price. In essence, the buyer will take the appraisal and write basically an amendment to the agreement, which then can be negotiated between buyer and seller. This appraisal and this amendment must be submitted within the appraisal contingency. So you can see here, buyer shall within blank days of binding agreements, let's say 14, 15 days of binding agreement, have the right to request that the seller reduce the sales price based on the appraisal. The lender is only going to loan the buyer money to purchase this home up to the appraised value. So it's the appraised value minus the buyer's 10% down, right? And then that's going to basically be their mortgage along with any fees, okay? But the lender is not going to loan them more than what the appraiser says the home is worth, as long as the buyer attempts to work out a price reduction during the appraisal period. If the seller disagrees with the price reduction, the buyer is allowed to get the return of the earnest money. So that's in essence what the appraisal contingency is doing. It is protecting the buyer's right to get their earnest money return should the home not appraise at the purchase price. Okay. Now, if it does appraise at the purchase price, this does not give the buyer the right to back out and get their earnest money back. If it appraises, the buyer must stick with the agreement.